if I was a Socrates student, which I am, how would I analyze the delimitation issue? First, we need to start what was the source of the issue, the issues itself, and the solutions. And I think nobody talks about the solution. So I have something unique for you coming up. First things first. What was the source of the issue? It was the 131st Amendment that brought up with it three bills: the Women's Reservation Bill, the Delimitation Bill, and the UT laws, whatever. Women's reservation, everybody agreed with. In 2023, they passed the law that gives 33% reservation to women in the parliament. It was passed in 2023, but it was not implemented. To implement it, this was the amendment that was brought: the Women's Reservation Bill in the 131st Amendment, and also the Delimitation Bill. Why would anybody have? So the popular narrative from the BJP side is, why would anybody have problem with women's reservation? Nobody has a problem except the Samajwadi Party, RJD, those people. For some reason, they've always denied the women's reservation bill. The women's reservation bill has been brought up like 3 or 4 times in the Lok Sabha, and every time the Samajwadi parties and those people, RJD, they deny it. What is the reason? We'll discuss that further. But it was brought again: women's reservation bill, delimitation bill. The 33% reservation promised in the 2023 law was being implemented by this amendment, but it tied the 33% reservation to the delimitation bill, and it is a bigger issue. So what would the delimitation bill do? It would increase the seats from maximum 550 right now to 850, and it would change the seats from 543 to 816. So a 50% increase. While the BJP side likes to say there is a 50% increase, it was never written down in official like text in the bill. So Amit Shah brought it up out of nowhere. Like he said, if you guys want like protection for the North South issue, we will enter the 50% increase in the bill officially in an hour if you want to. Venugopal from Congress said, yes, if you add this, we will support it. Not really. No, they were never going to support it. And I'm glad nobody supported it. Why? I'll discuss that. What is the North versus South issue that is brought up by the opposition to deny the bill, or the Congress and up, probably not SPRJD. Those have a different issue, and Congress up have a different issue. What is the North South issue? DMK, those, that is the North South issue. The North South issue is in like 1990s, when we had insane population growth. The central government said we need to control the population. As such, we want state governments to do family planning. And southern Tamil Nadu, Keralam, those states did a really good job of controlling the population, while UP, Bihar, Rajasthan did not. And they have insane populations as a result of this, while Tamil Nadu, Keralam, they have like like they have controlled population. Tamil Nadu's like replacement rate is 1.6. Like one woman is on average having 1.6 children, so which is less than two, right? So that is the issue, and because of that, because of the successful implementation, today Tamil Nadu has relatively lower population than UP. Let's say, for example, I'm just using Tamil Nadu and UP as an example. While UP has like 130 million, 13 crores, Tamil Nadu has 40 million. The difference is huge. So what happens in a delimitation is inside the state, we have this policy or directive of one person, one vote, one value. So let's say there are two districts, and one district has 60,000 voters and another district has 50 lakh voters. That is not one vote, one value, right? So what we do is we do delimitate. We either break down the bigger district in more districts, or we take the smaller district and make its limits bigger, like change the map. That is inside the states. What is outside or interstate? So let's say Tamil Nadu has 40 million people and UP has 130 million people. So currently, based on the delimitation process, what would happen is Tamil Nadu would lose seats and UP would gain seats because more people live in UP than in Tamil Nadu. That way, we can get to one vote, one person, right? It's like an equalizing of vote because populations change, populations move, stuff like that. So the to equalize it, you do interstate delimitation. In current scenario, if we use the 2011 census, Tamil Nadu would lose like 8 to 9 seats and UP would get 11 seats, right? Why is that a problem? The problem is, first of all, the central government asked us to do family planning, and southern states successfully did it, while the northern states, UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, did not successfully do it. Then it would be looked at as we are punishing the southern states for implementing a policy successfully. Second problem is Tamil Nadu, Kerala are high uh, contributors to the economy. They produce a lot, they pay a lot of taxes, they have a lot of good education, good scientists, good businessmen, whatever. They do a lot of stuff for India, right? And it would be looked at as prosperous states are losing seats because it's solely based on population. So that is the north south issue. And that's why DMK, Congress, UP, those parties rejected the bill. So to counter that, Amit Shah nicely, I would say, or in a good uh, response, asked if there was a 50% increase for each state, nobody would lose seats. It would just increase their representation percentage wide was also increased. So they said, we'll take the seats and increase it by 50%, nothing else, right? So from 543, it would go to 816. So if Tamil Nadu has 39 seats, it would go to 59 seats. They would get 20 more, just a 50% increase. But it was never written down in the text. And that's what the Congress was calling out. But again, when they were given the concession by Amit Shah, it was like, I'll go back in an hour, I'll change everything and give you 50%. Written down. Venugopal said, hell yeah, let's do this. But then later, they didn't support it either. Anyways, and it's a good reason. Good reason. Another amazing argument by RJD SP is 2011 doesn't have a caste census or caste column in the census. 2026 will have a caste column in the census. That way, when you do reservation, 33% reservation for women, we also want caste-based reservation inside the 33%. Basically, right? SC, ST get certain amount, OBC get certain amount. So that is another amazing point against the bill. So that is what's talked about, right? That is the official takes from every party. BJP obviously said this is for the women. We don't want anything to do with this. If everybody supports, we'll give them credit. It's not a good enough argument, though, right? Bad bill. Another thing that's not talked about, but it is on a research page that I'll link in the description, is if the Lok Sabha goes from 543 to 816, the Rajya Sabha will lose power. Currently, there is 2.2 to 1 ratio for the Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha. So for every 2.2 member in Lok Sabha, there is one member in Rajya Sabha. That would go to 3.3 is to 1, right? There's like 1, whatever, who gives a shit? Nah. Uh, the power would change so much that if you read the paper I said, it would mean if you even if the opposition is controlling 2/3 of the Rajya Sabha, which is insane. That's 2/3 is 66%, right? More than a simple majority, more than a special majority. 2/3 is really huge. Even if you have 2/3 opposition in Rajya Sabha, the Lok Sabha can just steamroll the bill, not worrying about Rajya Sabha. How would that happen? So, in joint seatings, like there are special conditions where they can do a joint seating of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, where they basically vote as a body. Lok Sabha would have 56% of the vote. So more than simple majority. They can just, so anything that goes in Lok Sabha but doesn't pass in Rajya Sabha is now just passed with simple majority in Lok Sabha. So there was no concession. There was no changing of seats for Rajya Sabha in this bill. It was a bad bill. So again, we had 33%, but it was no caste. It didn't have protections for the southern states not losing seats. So those two things, and also it would completely steamroll Rajya Sabha. So these are three really bad points. But what I wanted to talk about is thing that nobody talks about. The solution to this and the root cause of this problem is because there is no population growth in Tamil Nadu and there is population growth in UP. That is a source of the issue. How would we even solve this? We would just need more population in Tamil Nadu. But they have a replacement rate of 1.6%. So, how the hell are they supposed to reach the 130 million mark, whatever? They can't. European countries have the same problem with a lot of jobs and a lot of education. Replacement rates go down. That's just what happens. So, what do? They invite immigrants. They invite immigrants from India, China, uh, Middle Eastern states, whatever. That's what they do to keep their population above a certain percentage because you still need people to work, right? So, what does Tamil Nadu do if it doesn't have enough people? And it doesn't have enough people because with this limited population, a lot of population goes overseas or out of state. How are they going to do like manufacturing jobs, cleaning, whatever, like menial labor? And they have a really high level of education in their local population. That way, they don't choose to do like menial labor, right? Basically, construction or whatever. So, what do they do? They get migrant workers. They might get migrant workers from Odisha, Jharkhand, UP, Bihar, whatever. They invite people from there. Keralam calls them guest workers. So that's what they do. But you know what they don't do? They don't give them voting rights ever because they are worried that these will introduce BJP in the South. That is the solution. Give them residency. If they have enough money, they're making a lot of money. Plus, they have the need for these people. If these people migrant workers can stay in Tamil Nadu, they will pad their population. I'm not saying the population is going to be enough to prevent the lose of seats, but it will cut it down by half if you like just keep inviting people, uh, give them residence. It will help your problem, and that is the only way out of this. Because if Tamil people will stick to their exceptionalism where they don't want anybody from the north residing in the south, even Odisha, I don't think they want people outside Tamil Nadu to stay in Tamil Nadu, right? Basically, they want whatever they have. They have like a separate country at this point. Lose that. Lose the exceptionalism. Lose the restriction of nobody from outside. You need people from outside. If you don't do this, if not today, tomorrow you are gonna lose seats. You don't have enough population. You don't accept people from outside. What the fuck are we gonna do? You are gonna lose seats. It's your problem at this point. Like, find a solution. The solution is not keeping everybody out, like accepting nobody from outside and still complaining about the seats loss. If UP has a lot of people, just get people from UP. Teach them your language. Keep them, give them housing or give them jobs. They have enough jobs. You don't need to give them housing. You just give them cheap or cheaper housing, and boom, that's it. That you have like one person working, and most of the time, three people residing. That's it. Boom. You can get families in, two people working, two children. You get more educated labor at the same time because the children get educated, and you get menial labor at the same time. What the fuck? What's the problem? But they will never do this. And nobody talks about this. The bill was really bad. It shouldn't have gone through. Because if another thing, 850 motherfuckers in the parliament, holy shit, that would be detrimental to our budget. It would be a lot. We need to pay them a lot. Okay, 850 plus. Nobody would get time to speak because a minute each would be like 50% more, million more. That's what we think. It would be linear. It wouldn't even be linear. It would be like exponential, whatever, like multiplicative instead of additive. Because if you have two people debating, let's say it takes an hour, but when you have three people debating, it doesn't take, or four people debating, it doesn't take 2 hours. It probably takes like 6 to 8 hours because the first person is responding to the second, third, fourth, then the second, third, fourth, whatever the fuck, right? Like that multiplication, crazy. And that also costs us money, taxpayer money. Holy shit. No, don't do that. Give reservation in the current 543. Yes, it takes out a lot of small parties out of the equation. It's sad, but like we need representation for women. You can do whatever, but take care of the women, right? Why not? We love women. Nobody loves women more than I do, but this is not the way. Don't tie to delimitation. Just pass it as is. Plus, if you need, pass this law that, I mean, yes, delimitation is going to happen after the 2026 census. So the southern states are fucked anyways. And they don't give a shit. They'll fight for this till the end. They want just the millions in Tamil, nobody from the Hindi heartland. This doesn't work. You're being closed off. It's going to kill you. Like you're going to lose seats. You're not going to have enough people to work. Your economies are working properly now, but they're not going to forever. Like it's going to suffer when you don't have enough people, or people choose other like states like Gujarat or Maharashtra, and like UP Bihar does good stuff for manufacturing. You're gone. You're done because you're exceptional. More liberalism always works. Authoritarianism, like closed borders or whatever the shit, you don't want immigrants, migrants. It's never gonna work. You're fucked.